You have a new person. Oh, I want to remember
Oh, that's
to,
right.
ways to
I was gonna ask about that.
congratulate Kate on becoming detective. Is it? Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the June 1st meeting of the New Britain Board of Supervisors. If you would all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board has met in executive session on May 8th, May 16th, May 21st, and May 26th, and before this meeting to discuss personnel, real estate and litigation matters. I'm sorry, open space matters. We have a presentation this evening from Dunlap of our 2025 audit. Good evening. Hi.
Hello.
You could tell us your name and have a seat.
Sure will. You all have a copy of the audit in front of you.
I didn't bring my, yes.
Excellent. I am Julie Davis. I am a partner with Dunlap SLK. And this year I was also the in charge on the audit for the first time in a number of years. I in charged it a while ago. So worked with Alex here, which was awesome. Okay, I'm going to go through this super quick, super high level. If you have any questions about anything I just pass over, please interrupt. The first 2 pages of the report are actually it's 3 pages maybe, is the audit opinion. And it's 3 pages long. It says a lot of stuff, but basically what it says is that it's a clean opinion and that your statements are properly stated. The next several pages through page 13 are the management discussion and analysis. This is where management has an opportunity to say what they want about what kind of the year you had. That is your document, so I'm not actually going to go over that at all. And then I didn't think this through, scrolling through this long report.
Take your time.
Page 14 starts the financial statements. So in the financial statements, we have 2 sets of financial statements. The first one is the government-wide financial statements, which collapses all the government activities into one column. So you have a better overall picture of the long-term, how you look long-term. It's more of a real world way of looking at it versus the fund level. So in these statements, you do have the long-term view, you have your long-term debt, you have your pension liabilities or asset. I think yours is an asset. You have your capital assets, whereas you don't have those in your fund statements, which is probably what you're used to looking at on a monthly basis. So that's what our first set of statements is. And all I'm going to say about that is the net position, according on a government-wide basis, is 33 million. So that's a very nice, healthy number. That's on page 14 at the bottom. If you go to page 15, you can see the activities presented. They're presented with expenses first, and then revenues, and then at the bottom, your general revenue. So all I'm going to talk about here is that the change in that position on a government-wide level was 1.8 million. So that's a nice bottom line. Page 16 starts the fund financial statements. This is what you're more familiar with looking at. We present these on a major fund basis. So we do a calculation at the beginning of the audit and determine which funds are, quote, major funds, and the rest of the funds are in that non-major governmental column to the right. At the end of the report, there is a combining statement so that if you wanted to see what was in those, all that information is there as well. So this is presented on the fund basis. Your main fund, of course, being your general fund. And this set of statements presents your operations on a modified accrual basis. So what that means is it's more of a short-term look. You don't have your capital assets on your balance sheet. You don't have your debt. Your debt payments are expenses. Your purchases of equipment are expenses, that kind of thing. So at the end of 25 on this basis, your fund balances were 15 million. That's at the bottom of page 16. So if you go to page 17, we have a statement that reconciles those two things. So you can see how you get from 15 million to the 33 million I mentioned before. And it's your long-term, your long-term assets and liabilities. It's your capital assets, it's your debt, it's your pension liabilities. Page 18 is the statement of revenues and expenditures, just real quick. Looking at it year over year, I'm just going to focus on general fund because that's your major fund. Total revenues were 7.2 million versus 6.8 in 24. Your total expenditures were 7.1 million and your total expenditures in 24 were also 7.1 million. So your revenues went up and your expenses stayed flat. So that's good. So overall, the change in fund balance there was a positive. It was better than the year before. I mentioned the 1.8 million on that first set of statements. On this set of statements, it's 1.6 million was the revenues over expenditures. Don't know what's going on with my voice. Sorry. And page 19, we have another reconciliation statement. So you can see how we got from that 1.6 to that 1.8 I mentioned in the beginning. Not as big of a difference, right? The next set of statements are your fiduciary funds. These are your pension trust funds, the escrow fund. I'm not going to cover that in great detail or at all. The notes to the financial statements start on page 22. The first many pages are what we call the summary of significant accounting policies. Those just outline how we're booking things, how we're recording things in the different sets of statements. All that stuff I just said to you about the different bases of accounting, that's all in there if you wanted to go back and read it. And explains, how we're accounting for everything. So I'm not going to go through that. So if you want to jump, I'm not going to go through these in too much detail. The notes really just take things on the financial statements and give you a lot more detail about them. So there's, after the summary of significant accounting policies, you have notes on cash and investments, policies related to those, and I can't get there. Talks about concentration of credit risk, interest rate risk, all of your investments that are talked about here are pension investments. So, and then some information on your property taxes, a more detailed breakout of your capital assets, etc. They go on for a long time. And then we get to the pension note, which is like a solid 10 pages long. So what you need to know about your pension plan is that you have a pension asset and not liability. So it's in good shape. Okay. And then the last thing is there is budget to actual statements near the back. If you wanted to take a look there on page 65, we have some budget to actual statements for the general fund, land preservation fund, and I believe the park and rec. Focusing again on the general fund, your revenues were came in over budget, and your expenses came in a little over budget. So, but overall, the net effect was that you had budgeted a deficit and you had a positive bottom line. So you exceeded your budget. So that's good. That's really it. Very quick. Any questions?
Alex, do you have Mr. Nate, do you have anything to add or?
Well, I think prior, my predecessor did a great job. We have an awesome team. All of our directors do a really good job of making sure that things are being expensed correctly. It was awesome working with Dunlap. Felt like it was a very easy audit, so.
It really was, considering the transition and the timing of when Kristen left.
Yeah.
And poor Alex came in the middle of the audit and called and said, what's happening? I think it went really well, really, really well. So Alex did a great job. Kristen did a great job pulling stuff together before she left.
So my question would be, I guess, just for the residents who are here, the audit found no irregularities or other problems.
No. Audits are not designed to find fraud. Just, I have to say that. But we do procedures on things that we think there could be fraud risk. So we did not have any issues like that. No.
Did you have any suggestions on controls or other procedures?
The one thing that we noted was, to nobody's surprise, I think, is the escrow funds need to be cleaned up a little bit. I think you're already working on that.
I think 3 years now, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was really left handled well in the past. But I think we're down to 1 page now, maybe a page and a half.
Yeah.
Yes, so we are making great progress. Any other questions?
Is there only one type of audit that you do on municipalities? There's nothing different from year to year?
I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
Municipal audits are one standard form. You don't do a different form like in every 5 years or something. It's all the same.
All the same. Yep. Yep. Accounting profession likes that, like all the same.
Anybody else? No? Is there any public comment? Yes, can you state your name?
Deb Rendon. Hi. Keller Road. Anyway, can you tell me what basically was the difference in the unfunded, unrestricted general fund balance from 24 to 25?
I might be able to tell you that.
Or do you want to let me know?
In the unrestricted, yes, hold on a second.
And my other question is, while you're looking for that, just that I'm requesting a copy of the management letter, please.
Is the audit posted on our website?
No,
Not yet.
the
Okay,
management letter will be posted with it, not the, I mean, the management.
we
letter,
usually
but-
just post the whole audit, I bought.
I'm going the wrong way.
Terry,
We'll do that thing.
it will be posted?
Well, yeah, I don't know, do we have the management letter?
We do.
It's
We have
in the-
all the documents. We were waiting until after the meeting to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, so it will be posted on the website.
Didn't have to-
You're welcome.
The unrestricted is 124,000 increase.
Unrestricted increase from 24 to 25, under 24,000.
Are you talking on a fund basis or a
What
government
I
wide
wanna know
basis?
is the cash balance on the general fund.
Cash
year
balance
end,
is different.
24 to 25.
Let's see, I don't, you know what, I don't have 24 in front of me. I only have 25.
What was left at the end of 25?
In cash,
Yeah,
2.7 million.
no, that's not what I meant, the difference, the excess over the revenues.
Yeah, that's the 124. That's 120.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
got it, thank you.
Yep, sure.
Comments? All right, well, thank you for coming in and I'm sure we will be speaking in the near future
All right,
about another organization.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Is Randy here?
You have the award for Randy? Okay, okay, Nick, he's not here. Okay, so we have an award to give to our soon-to-be retired 40-year employee, Randall Teschner, but he is not here to receive it.
You want to read it or?
Shall we read it?
Here it is.
In appreciation and recognition of Randall Teschner, 40 years of public service, 11/18/1985 to June 5th, 2026. Loyalty and commitment form the basis of any successful relationship, whether it be family or business. We feel that New Britain Township is loyal and committed to making our township the best it can be, and you are a significant part of New Britain Township. Thank you for 40 years of dedicated service to our residents and taxpayers from the New Britain Township Board of Supervisors. And we'll get this to him at some point. We think he's be coming back to work tomorrow. Okay. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Item A, approve the minutes of May 4th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting. Approve regular bill list as follows. Dated May 14th, 2026, and dated May 28th, 2026, for a total amount of $378,171.14. C, approve the prepaid bill list as follows. Dated May 7th, May 14th, May 21st, and May 28th, 2026, for a total amount of $3,018,626.09. And D, approve the escrow release number 1 for Triumph Development Group LLC, the D'Alessio subdivision, in the amount of $65,542.50. Does anybody have any questions on the bills list or other items in the consent agenda? Are there any questions from the public on the bills list? Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion to approve consent agenda as read.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Action items. A, consider a motion for the township solicitor to prepare and advertise an ordinance to amend the township noise ordinance. Justin?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To clarify on that, as it stands right now, the township's noise ordinance has a requirement of utilizing a decibel meter when making a complaint or establishing a violation of said ordinance. The intent of the amendment is to remove that and replace it with other more common language utilized in an ordinance like this.
Okay. Any questions?
So I'm asking, we're making a motion to prepare and advertise. So
No, we haven't.
Yes,
And advertise, okay.
yes.
We would have to see it.
yes, so
To prepare,
Have the solicitor,
to prepare it and
have the solicitor prepare the ordinance and then do the advertisement. Then we'll come back and you'll get the final product and then you'll vet it at that time.
Okay.
and then we'll vote on it. Okay.
Any? I'm sorry, Bill?
I'm just saying somebody had a question, so. we'll
Okay.
get them.
Yes.
Any comment from the audience? Yes.
Wendy Bigman. I have actually asked the township to conduct sound monitoring in like February of this year on the Keller Road Bridge. Because based on just NIOSH, cell phone readings, it exceeded 80 decibels. So what is the purpose of eliminating the decibel reading from the ordinance?
It's what the focus here, it is a very common problem for construction activity to occur say early in the morning, like sometimes they'll start 5:30, 6 o'clock, and for obvious reasons, the neighbors are very upset about that. And that it could be a Toll Brothers, not to pick on Toll Brothers, but it could be a Toll Brothers development and the bulldozers are out there and moving dirt around, et cetera, et cetera. It could be your next door neighbor that's tearing down a section of their house. Again, it is a common problem throughout probably every township out there. And as Justin pointed out, in order to prove there's some sort of problem, we have to go with decibel readings. An employee has to be out there 6 o'clock in the morning taking readings. It's just not practical. There's a lot easier way to do it. And what we're proposing is hours of operation. You can't, during the weekday, you can't construct prior to 7 o'clock in the morning, and you have to stop at dusk. On the weekends, it's 8 o'clock, and again, you have to stop at dusk. So this is specific to construction activity.
So it's gonna be an addition to the existing ordinance, or it's gonna be the removal of the decibel limit completely?
No, it's just a new section. It's nothing to do with what you're saying, Wendy. Yeah.
That would be clear, wasn't it? Well, no, I think New Britain Borough just amended their township ordinance, and it was due to barking dogs or something like that, so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that too, probably.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
I thought there was somebody else.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Yeah, Steve Groman, Hampshire Drive. Why dusk? I mean, dusk is kind of early if, say, people get home from work and they're working on their house, doing things. And dusk is kind of early.
During the summertime, not so much.
Okay,
Maybe,
summer.
yeah, during the wintertime, perhaps a little early. Okay, but yeah, it's,
Why not put a time on like 9 o'clock, 8:30?
well, that's something the board could consider when the ordinance is before them, if they want to.
Why can't it be presented to the board instead of the board putting a time?
Well, my reaction to that, sir, would be I don't recommend that. I think this is a better way of going. This is something that I've been involved with and used when I was in Lower Makefield Township, and it works quite well.
Dusk.
Yes, dusk.
Is that sunset, dusk?
Yeah.
Sunset.
Yes.
So,
It's early.
Okay.
Kind of hard to build in the dark.
yeah, Terry, could I ask for clarification?
So now you're talking outside or inside?
Oh, no,
So-
this is just outside.
Outside.
Strictly outside.
Yes.
Yeah, you
If
can do
I'm
whatever.
inside my garage, using a jackhammer or something.
No.
You're
No,
gonna be a
that's,
popular
no,
neighbor.
that's- yeah.
Just wondering.
Uh,
You probably have to use a jackhammer anyway.
Well, if we get a complaint, we'll look at it.
The chief had brought up about, he's not here tonight, so I'm putting him on the spot. The chief can't enforce the decibel because he's not qualified. So jackhammer in your garage, I'm just the engineer, so I'm just trying to relay message here,
That's
but
good.
the police will get the call from your neighbor and the chief couldn't enforce the decibel reading because they're not qualified and it's in the zoning. And however, so they would need to get zoning officer to come out and do a measurement and all that. It was proposed to, and I thought to replace that. You're saying to amend and add the language that you proposed?
I was going to allow Scott, our solicitor, to figure out how the best approach
We
this.
thought it was to replace, so you answered differently than, it actually is good to have both because sometimes you need both.
Yeah, I wouldn't replace what,
Okay.
okay.
We weren't sure.
I think the language, though, in the existing noise.
It's not enough.
ordinance,
I
Yeah,
agree with you.
it's got to be changed.
Yeah, so this came up with construction, and I know there was other conversations about a bridge and other things we've had.
Yeah. but
And it's hard to
that's-
measure that. And actually, I believe the solicitor's office said it doesn't apply to a public street. It's from someone's neighbor or something like that. But the chief had an issue with, it's hard for them to enforce. So
Okay.
your language that you're proposing, or I say you, that you propose to the board would help with the staff, police, and the rest of the staff say, hey, we have an ordinance and at dusk, the equipment has to be
Yeah.
shut down.
Yeah.
So, but it was out.
Specific to construction activity.
Yeah, that's what the
Yes.
amendments proposed.
Yeah, so it's specific to construction activity.
Yes.
I would also recommend that I'm going to recommend, we were just talking that you might not want to advertise and just prepare.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a little bit of,
Can we have our solicitor just prepare something, present it to us before we go through the expense of advertising it?
That's usually.
Because I don't-
good. Yeah,
But that's
I
not what
thought
the
that was a
motion
little-
says here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So let's amend the motion.
We amend that motion.
it's a big complaint that
wasn't
every
mentioned
town,
yet.
every municipality gets these complaints. So it's
Yes.
worth it to spend a little more time and hash out everything and make it done, let's do it right. So
The arm up with the black sleeve.
Go ahead.
I can't see you.
Construction, as I am aware, but, review from somebody on the board, review what fireworks. What is the ordinance on that?
We have an ordinance.
What's this all about?
Okay.
We have an ordinance on fireworks. They're restricted to certain holidays. And we have many, many people that break the ordinance. I can tell you, there are people up by the lake that just love to set off what I consider at least half sticks of dynamite on a regular basis. The problem is pinpointing where it's coming from, unless a neighbor calls and says, it's my next door neighbor, and can call the police and tell them where it is, or they happen to be sitting out front, it's a little difficult to find those people. So if you want to call the police and tell them about your neighbors, that's one way to handle it. But we can't determine when someone's sitting at Highland Park, who's setting off a firework in Brittany Farms. It requires the citizens to report to the police.
Have I missed that reminder?
We can
add
put
that.
it in the newsletter again. Actually, we just started working on the next newsletter.
Could add that.
Any other comments? I thought, could you state your name, Mr. Scafidi?
PennDOT will pave at night, and you really can't stop. And they'll
Yeah.
they'll start the bridge construction. If they're doing a bridge, they'll start at 6 a.m. If it's hot, they'll do it, but setting a break off cooler. And we looked into it before you can. The
Yes.
ordinance did apply.
We cannot control the Commonwealth of PennDOT.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Oh,
No, it's the Commonwealth of PennDOT.
Okay.
They're a separate Commonwealth from Pennsylvania.
Language, yeah.
Yeah, we only have, we cannot regulate
some
their activities, and they pave at night because there's less traffic and less inconvenience for that reason. Anyone else? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to amend that to have our solicitor prepare an ordinance for review. Did I state that correctly?
Nice. No, I think the motion is a motion to ask the solicitor to prepare an ordinance for
That-
the supervisors to
That's
review.
what I was trying to get to.
To amend
Thank
the
you.
township
Definitely.
noise ordinance. Do I have a second to that?
I will second that then, now that we've got it stated correctly.
That's fine.
Any further comment from the board or the public? Hearing none, I call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Item B, discussion of the EAC recommendation for single-use plastic reduction ordinance. Terry? Would you like to discuss this, or Justin? Or I will. So we've received a, Go ahead.
Since I'm
You're
the
the
EAC,
liaison.
yeah,
You're the
EAC liaison. The EAC board had put this under discussion that they would like to investigate the recommendation for a single-use plastic reduction ordinance. We have what they have given us in our packets. I think we have one of the authors and the other author. Yep. If you would like to just come forth and give us a very high level idea of why you wanted to this and what your process was. What activities did you do to get this kind of information first? And then we can decide if we would like to continue on.
How we want to proceed on the recommendation.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Jerry, do you want my computer so you can see your recommendations?
No, I'm okay. I kind of know. Mine was very short.
You can come forward, sit down at the table.
State your name, please.
Speaker. My name is Jerry Reuter. I'm from 352 Stony Hill Drive, Chalfont. And it had been suggested that we do a single-use plastic reduction ordinance. It seems to me that that would be a very good idea. And the speech that I had, I said I was even kind of surprised that we had this as a discussion for an issue, because I thought we loved our children enough to want to protect them from things like microplastics in the air, the water, and the ground. Microplastics in the have been found to cause endocrine disruption, neurodevelopment problems, weaken immune responses, heart disease, preterm birth, dementia, higher rates of cancer, etc. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is highly in favor of reducing plastic in the environment and is actively promoting the issue as part of the administration's health and environmental agenda. It takes between 400 to 1,000 years for microplastics to degrade and are made from non-renewable resources like natural gas, coal, and oil. It depletes fossil fuels that are finite, resources that power homes, vehicles, factories, and even gas lawnmowers. It is inconvenient to go to, is it inconvenient to go to the hospital for a broken arm? Is it inconvenient to replace a flat tire? My feeling is, how inconvenient is it to carry a recyclable bag into a store, all for a better outcome and for our children's future? Jim and I actually did a lot of research with the EPA and the government. I'll let you talk about that, but I did the research on the neighboring townships, and almost every township had either a plastic bag ban or a total plastic reduction, which I think is a good idea. We've done a little bit of research, just marketing, and there are viable alternatives to plastic that'll be biodegradable and it won't harm the environment. You want to say something about this?
I'm sorry.
You want to say something while I read this?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so Carol gave me something from Penn State Extension. And basically it's a 4-step thing. The first one is plan ahead. Obviously, bring refillable bottles, bring snacks in reusable containers, keep your own bags handy when you go shopping. I was just at the ARC Foundation, and the Heritage Conservancy was giving out silicone bags that are reusable. You can, ARC, the animal rescue.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just thinking of a silicone bag. Yeah.
I know, well, yeah, but you don't use a whole, like 500 plastic bags for that. Anyway, make smart choices, like choose reusable bottles instead, made of stainless steel, not plastic. Buy used whenever possible. Choose reusable over disposable. Choose natural fiber clothing, which is a big thing to the textile industry, and use natural mulches instead of plastic sheeting in your landscaping. Avoid single-use items. Make use of reusable things as much as possible. If a single-use item is used, make sure to recycle it properly when possible. I actually noticed that the Trex company, the people that do those boards for your, they take things like, now of course I don't know how many people use newspapers anymore, but the plastic bag they used to cover newspapers. They take bread bags. They take a lot of things that you wouldn't think would be reusable. Let's see, when recycling is not an option, always carefully dispose of plastic waste. Carry it with you. What you bring in, you take out, like in all of the forests. And finally, spread the word. Educate others about the importance of reducing and reusing, and share practices that work for you. I actually met a lady who, I really have to talk to her in more detail. I think her name was Eve Pulhala. She works at Camelot Park. She is almost zero trash. I don't know how this woman does it, but I would love to know. So I am thinking about making some kind of a plan with her to find out what zero trash looks like. But that's all I had.
So you're giving us information, but I think what we're actually looking at, what you're actually recommending is an ordinance from the township, like neighboring townships, correct?
Yes.
Had you gone to any of those neighboring townships to talk to them about how they planned this, what they looked at, how they got buy-in from the businesses? Was there a lead-in process? And what did they learn? What could they have done better?
I did not do that kind of research. However, I did talk to the sustainability coordinator for Doylestown Borough. And he said the biggest pushback was from the businesses. However, when he went to talk to the businesses, there was a lot of back and forth, and the businesses felt that it had, what they read, it was very strict and very restricting. When he explained what he was hoping for, not everything to be gone. Like, we don't want all of this stuff gone. If you can get rid of plastic straws and make paper straws instead, that's fine. You can still use straws. If you can use biodegradable utensils, that's even better. So he realized that, I think, if you go out and talk to the business individually, and that's what Jim and I have both agreed, that we want to try and give them options. We want to give them ways to find these places and the different kinds of, utilities and companies that they could use. But no, I did not do that kind of,
And I
other
think-
than Doylestown Borough.
Yeah. And I think the point was that they wanted to come and ask us before they did all that lead work to see if we were open to the idea before they started going out and talking to either the different municipalities, the different EACs, that some were there. Because why do all that legwork if we were not even thinking about
We
looking
don't want to
at it?
get too many people too excited.
Yeah.
For either side of the table.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Commentary, Stephanie?
This is a bag full of reusable Target bags. This is what Target in Montgomeryville gives out every time you do an online order. You don't have a choice to not take one. If you tell them you're not going to take one, they tell you we have to give you one because this is how we bring your order out. So I don't think requiring businesses to use reusable bags and not plastic bags is the way to go. Then I end up buying these bags to put in my trash cans at home because I have these and I don't have the Target bags to recycle anymore. I think it's something to encourage people to do on their own, but to require businesses to do it is an overstep.
Bill?
Similar situation. I mean, you go into Montgomery Township and they have a ban on plastic bags. And you go into a store to buy something, well, do you want a bag for that? Well, if you're carrying something out that's not convenient to carry in one hand, you need a bag. So now they're gonna charge you for it unless you bring in your own bag. So I think that's where the problem comes in, is you would now be forcing people when they go to the grocery store to bring their own bag or else to use a plastic bag. So if it's voluntary, it's one thing. I think if you try to mandate it, it's another option.
Well, and that was one of my stories, that when we
Sorry,
went to see.
Jerry, we're doing board
Oh,
commentary.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bridget?
Oh, I am open to the idea. I think it is a good idea to help reduce. I'm not sure that the timing is right at the moment, because I grew up as a person with not a lot of money. And while it's a very nominal fee for most of us here and most of us in our community, a certain war has increased gas prices so much that people are having to decide if they can cut down on their groceries in order to have enough money to pay for gas. So while I like the idea, I'm not sure now is the ideal time. I would like to have more information regarding alternatives and options. I am for it. But this is very difficult economic times right now for people that they're living in. And even though it seems silly, there's people that are like, well, I can only put $30 of gas in my car and I hope I can get to my job this week. And I'm very cognizant that when prices go up in grocery stores, no matter what a candidate promises, they do not come down. So when things go up, I am just concerned that we will have more people who are already relying on our food banks and we don't have enough to donate. And again, I like the idea. I'm just not sure now is the right time.
Cynthia?
I think it's something to explore. As you say, it may not be the right time, but to have the information, I think it would be, they're asking if we should still explore the option in a future time. And I think it would be a good idea to go back to some of these municipalities and ask them, how did the implementation go? Did it work? Did it not work? I think it's still too high of a look. I think we should explore it. So.
First, I want to thank you. I know you've put in an awful lot of work on this, researching and providing us information. And I'm very aware that every municipality around us has enacted this various forms of plastic bag bans and other things. I don't know each ordinance by heart, obviously. I am also interested in exploring it. However, I think I had mentioned to people before, you weren't on the board, the EAC at the time, that I believe that before we do anything, we need to dialogue with our businesses. I'm not concerned about CVS or Giant. They do this every other place. They have they can easily absorb any cost or any problem. I'm concerned with the small businesses, although I do believe there are ways they can cut down on single-use plastics, which would actually save them a great deal of money. There was a study done, I'm not sure where, somewhere I read, where restaurants were asked to just put a line on their online order sheet or to ask people when they ordered or when they came to pick up their food if they wanted plastic utensils, instead of just automatically putting them in the bag. And 90% of people said, no, we don't want the plastic utensils. That's a savings for that business to buy it, to store it, to process it, etc. So I don't think all of this is a bad idea for businesses. I am in favor of it. I can tell you that I've been using my own bags for well over a decade, simply because I found myself drowning in plastic bags and found out that although Giant gives a box to recycle them, they then take that box and just put it in the trash. So
That's disappointing.
my son used to work there for a while, along with all the food they would just throw out. It was just disgraceful waste while people are going hungry. Anyway, I digress there. I am in favor of it, but I think we need to explore and dialogue with the businesses before we impose it. I don't like the idea of imposing things on people. But I look around at Doylestown Township and the borough and Montgomeryville. How many businesses over there have been affected by this, and they all seem to be chugging along just fine. But I definitely think there should be some dialoguing with business and some further discussion, specifically with the businesses, small businesses in our township. I don't think it's a great problem to carry your own bags. It certainly solved my plastic bag storage problem at home. Some people want to do it, some don't, but they still have the option of paying, what is it, 5 cents for a bag or some paper bag. You know, we're old enough to remember that there were no plastic bags. Everything was paper. Somehow we survived. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But we did and actually thrived. So I am interested in exploring it further. Having said that, I know we have a bunch of people here who want to comment on it. So please. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Jim.
I'd like to.
Just state your name for the record, please. Jim,
Put together.
can you state your name for the
I'm
record?
sorry,
please?
Jim Morano, New Britain Township, Chapman Road. The U.S. Public Interest Research Group funded a study, the report that says plastic bag bans work, okay? What astounded me when I started on this project was the sheer numbers of plastic bags in this country. 680 million tons a year of plastic. And you read the letter. Several times the volume of the Empire State Building is produced every year, and it takes hundreds of years for that to degrade. Now, you say it may not be the right time. There is no right time. You either do it or you don't. If you're going to poll businesses, they're going to push back. But it works. Once it's in effect, businesses comply. It costs a little more money, maybe, but ultimately the cost of infinitely increasing the plastic in this country is going to cost us all a lot more than a few pennies. Now, I don't know about the rest of you folks, but over the years, I have collected so many reusable bags. We gave them away. This organization, that organization, Target for one. Now we have a half a dozen of them. That's plenty. We never get a bag from the grocery store. And I'm out of plastic bags to line my wastebasket at home, and I'm happy to be that. I really think it's a mistake to let this slip by. And if the board would like, I am willing to go talk to the neighboring townships that have these ordinances in place and find out what their experience is, and then report back to the board. I think we can't let it die at this point.
I think I've heard 3 people that are in favor of looking into it further, which I think is the smart thing to do. I think we stated talking to other townships that have done this about how they went about doing it and dialoguing with our small businesses in this township. I understand that everyone's initial reaction is going to be, oh, no, but it may not be that. It may not actually be that. We don't know. We won't know till we dialogue. Okay.
Mary Beth, can I just add one thing too? So if the position of the board is to look into this further, one piece of information that I would like to see is not just how many plastic bags are reduced, but what other impact does that reduction have? How many more reusable bags are being created, and what additional industrial impact does that have? What are the additional costs? So I don't want to just know we reduced plastic bag use by X. I want to know the broader scope of what that does.
I'm not certain that either the people sitting at that table don't take this the wrong way, competent to make those determinations, but I'm quite willing to hand it off to staff.
I think our staff has plenty of other things to focus their time on right now. I'm not willing to hand it off to staff.
Okay, and but I would just say that I think that information, if it's available, would be available on Google for any of us to find.
Yeah. And this is why we have boards and commissions. They can do some of this kind of exploration and information seeking. I think if there's questions that each of the board would like to put forth and say, I'd like to know more about this, before we give them a carte blanche, say, go out and find about everything. If there is something that the board would like to know specifically, I think the point of the EAC bringing this to our attention was to see, are we willing to explore it? And what questions would we like answered before we say yes or no? This is not a yes or no question at this time. It's a, do we have questions and what would they like to be? So.
And it's true. I mean, Jim and I are not experts at this. We're just people. And we've done as much research as we could. I went to speak to the guy at the Doylestown Borough.
I understand. What I was, my point to Stephanie was, I don't know that you're capable or that the information is available about what impact this has on manufacturing.
So it would be nice to have specifics. What are we looking for? Where do we look for that?
Perhaps there's some government sites that have that information. I don't know.
Do that.
I want to open up to public comment.
Yep, so you're relieved?
You can go sit back if you'd like.
Yep. Done.
In the back.
Steering at
Okay.
If
Tell
you
them.
could, if
Thank you.
everyone could come forward and.
Yes, if you want to, you had your hand up, correct?
Just wait.
Okay. And you have a comment on the plastic bags?
Sorry.
Can you, hold on, hold on.
Come forward, please.
Come forward, please.
Come forward.
Please state your name and address for the,
Creek Road. What percentage of the plastics are we talking about? Because we have plastic bottles, we have plastic milk cartons, we have everything. I'm asking you for a percentage of plastics, of
Sir.
plastic bags and straws.
Okay.
You
This is not a
want
bylaw.
to have a ordinance banning plastic.
Sir, we're not here for, stop. We're not here for personal
It's
debate.
not personal.
If you have a question or comment, you direct it to the
What
board.
percentage of plastics are we talking about in relation to the entire?
I have no idea.
We have plastic trash bags that we put in our trash cans every day.
Mhm.
We drink water out of plastic bottles.
No, I don't.
Food out of plastic bottles. And the list goes on and on and on. So if we're talking about 2% of the entire amount of plastic, I'm not sure where we're going with this. Secondly, if Giant is throwing their recyclable trash bags, carry home bags in the trash, that's Giant's problem, because I know as a contractor, Trex uses recycled bags, they turn it into confetti, basically. They use that in the process.
I didn't say recyclable bags. I said they have a recycle can in the front of their store that you could put plastic bags into recycle. They were throwing out in the trash,
That's
the
Giant's
plastic
problem.
bags.
That is not the issue of recyclability.
Well, I think
Corporate
it's-
Mills use they turn it into confetti and use it in production.
If they get it, but if it goes in the trash, they don't get that.
That's
do they?
not the consumer's problem. That's the
Okay.
people that
Okay.
are taking that container and not doing what they're supposed to do with that container. If I throw my tire on the side of the road, that's my problem. If I give it to a facility that's supposed to recycle that, that's the facility's problem.
Correct. Okay, thank you. We're gonna let some other people comment. Come forward, please.
Ladies first.
Helen Cookmore, Brittany Farms, but
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name.
Helen Cookmore.
Okay.
With the Target bags, because I work in Montgomery County and I work for a preschool. Parents come in, I'd have to say every day, I probably have a parent that brings their stuff in their Target bag. And we say, do you want the bag back? And they said, no, just throw it in the trash. Because it's 10 cents. They don't care. They pay the 10 cents. And, you know, you said about, reusable bags. So you're going to buy a plastic bag to put in your trash can. I use the reusable bags for plenty of things. I actually bring them to my job too. So I don't buy plastic trash bags from my bathroom. And then the same thing with water bottles. What are you going to do with that? I don't use a water bottle, but I don't think any of you should be. I should say you can't use one. I will choose not to use it.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Mark Drakely, Forest Park Drive across the street. I would suggest the board look at a Forbes magazine article from 2024 that examined New Jersey's experience with plastic bag ban. It found that not only didn't it work, it backfired to a great extent. It also, to your question, addresses the impact of what it costs from an environmental standpoint insofar as creating these multi-use bags and the fact that they don't get used. And I'm not to take umbrage with you, but as far as microplastics, the plastic bags aren't the issue. It is the fact that your food's wrapped in it, your water comes in it, your soda comes in it. That's where you're getting the microplastics. I don't know anybody that's eating the plastic bag that's having a problem from microplastics from the plastic bags themselves. I just don't think it's necessary, the government's right to impose that on citizens insofar as restrictions in that nature. They also found that it adversely impacted senior adults who require businesses to deliver their goods to them. So if you've ordered something from Giant and Giant can't give you a plastic bag, they ended up charging the consumer for the multi-use bag, and the people don't go out and use them again. So it became a tax, and if you think that Giant's going to absorb it without passing it on, then you need a pile of sand to stick your head in, because that's not going to happen. They're going to pass it along to the consumer. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Sorry, I'm a bad public speaker, so I wrote
No, it's fine.
myself something to read.
What is your name and address?
Kristen McClafferty,
Your address?
New Galena Road.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen McClafferty, and I am a Chalfont resident. Not only am I a member of this community, I am also a cashier at our local grocery store. So I'm hoping you will listen closely to the following reasons why New Britain Township should not ban plastic bags. Plastic bags effectively contain leaks, condensation, and spills from raw meats, seafood, and produce, making them hygienically superior to reusable bags. Plastic bags also reduce bacteria spread. Reusable bags are often linked to bacterial growth if not washed regularly. And as a cashier, I have experienced firsthand absolutely filthy bags with black mold, mildew, unidentifiable dirt, and liquids inside many reusable bags every single day. Single-use plastic bags ensure a clean, sanitary transport method for every trip to the grocery store by members in our community. Let's keep our community healthy, both consumers and workers. Another reason to consider is for the convenience and utility of plastic bags for second life use. Most shoppers reuse these bags as liners for small bathroom trash bags, as pet waste bags, and for parents of babies, dirty diaper bags. No additional purchase required. Concerned about our environment? Great, me too. Plastic bags leave a lower environmental footprint than the alternatives. Life cycle studies often show that traditional, lightweight, high-density polyethylene HDPE bags consume less water and energy during manufacturing and shipping compared to paper or heavy cotton alternatives. Worried about lowering carbon emissions? Great, me too. Because plastic bags are lightweight, their transportation requires less fuel than shipping heavier, bulky alternatives. How about economic accessibility and consumer cost? Plastic bags are highly inexpensive to produce, keeping overhead costs and therefore grocery prices low for consumers. For low-income shoppers, those using public transit, and those on fixed incomes, buying reusable bags or paying mandatory fees for paper alternatives at every checkout adds a recurring unfair financial burden. We have a very large over 55 population and many retired communities in this township and in our closest neighboring townships. Every single day, customers tell me that they travel to our store because we still provide free plastic bags. Just so you're aware, for our reusable bags, they cost $9.99 for our cold bags, $6.99 for the large box-shaped bags, $2.69 for the green-friendly bags, and 99 cents each for our heavy reusable tote bags. Yikes! Let's not make our community members pay for simply taking home their groceries.
So what's the alternative to fully banning plastic bags? Recycling. Plastic bags can be recycled. We have a collection bin at every entrance in my grocery store, which I now will follow up to find out what exactly happens to them. And I will.
Please come back and tell us.
I
what
will,
happens.
I will. If this board would truly like to make a difference, you can focus attention on proper waste management, increasing dedicated collection programs for all recyclable materials. I think in the, I don't know what it's called, the paperwork that you send out in mailer form to all residents.
newsletter.
The newsletter. I believe it said that clear plastic is what's recycled in this community. That's not enough. We have to do more. So thank you for your attention. I'd be happy to answer any questions from my perspective as a grocery store worker.
I think I know where you work, and I will
Thank
have
you.
no comment on Giant.
Jamie Walker, JD Hill Drive.
Yeah.
Everybody can go on ChatGPT right now. Do municipalities failing to ban plastic shopping bags cause kids to get cancer? No, that is a wildly overstated claim. I'm saying a more accurate version would be plastic pollution and microplastics are legitimate environmental concerns, and scientists are studying the possible cancer-related mechanisms. But they're-
Excuse me,
yeah.
you need to state your name and address.
She did, no,
Oh,
she did, she did
I
at
didn't hear
the
you.
beginning. She just went right into the comment. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's not a source.
Okay, well, I don't,
Guys.
okay, well, anyway,
Stop.
I'll get, all right, I'll get back to my comment.
Stop. The people that are coming up to the table are here to make comments to the board. This is not discussion or argument time with them from the audience, okay? Please, this is how a meeting is handled. You got to talk, they get to talk, and I don't want any arguments breaking out, okay? Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you. I am against a bag ban of any kind. Banning bags and telling businesses what they can or cannot sell or give away is a tyrannical government. Telling consumers what types of bags they can buy is or take for free is not a democracy. I suspect that me and somebody else were kicked off the environment board, maybe just to have a committee that wants to ban things. I don't know. But after townships ban bags, they ban gas-powered lawnmowers and engines. It's just the next step. That's what they're doing. Like Lower Merion just did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it goes from
Wasn't aware.
bags. Yes. So growing up, so this is a Democratic run board, which is great. Growing up, I was always under the impression that party was the party of choice. My body, my choice.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
you can make comments about the ordinance. We are not here to discuss politics, okay? So please leave your
I don't
comments.
think you're allowed to interrupt me when I talk. though.
We.
I don't think you are. Like, I actually don't think you're
We
allowed.
can, your comments
You're allowed
about
to interrupt me?
politics are not appropriate.
Okay, okay. A bag ban is nothing more than political virtue signaling at this point. I've lived in New Britain Township for like 15 years. I really have never seen a plastic bag flying around or laying on the street really anywhere. We are at the point of this bag situation, living in where we live, that if people want to use their recyclable bags or whatever they have, they are more than free to go do it. Like, nobody cares if they do that. I mean, but if you do remember during COVID, when everybody was participating in that, those bags you were not allowed to ever actually use them because they were dirty. So there has to be something to that if they were banned during that time. Many people take plastic bags and reuse them. It's actually the only thing from a supermarket that I do use, like recycle. I don't recycle the bag apples come in. I don't recycle what Brussels sprouts come in. I don't recycle what a ready-made chicken comes in, but plastic bags are recycled. I use them in my trash cans. But if you ban them and then nobody has them anymore, you have to go and buy other trash bags to put in your trash can. And since it's going to be annoying to not be able to shop at stores that have bags, people will buy them from Amazon. Have you guys ever returned anything from Amazon to UPS? Like through, or whatever, yeah, UPS, you take it and you wrap it in plastic and ship it that way. I tried to throw out a mattress here in New Britain Township. I had to have it wrapped in plastic. So it doesn't really make any sense. I have a 14-year-old son. He has gone through like 3 reusable lunch boxes. I don't buy them anymore. They're a waste of money. They're probably in the trash somewhere.
Yeah, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your teenager. Never.
So I take the giant bags and I use that for lunch, and maybe they come back, maybe they don't, but they don't cost any money, and I don't have to purchase anything else from a store, have Amazon drive it to me. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. I go and return it. Like she said, the people that come from other townships to shop at our store now, it's because the Little Giant, it's annoying. Nobody wants to go in there anymore because it's annoying to not have bags. So we're bringing people to New Britain to shop here. We're not like a big township like Doylestown or Montgomery, like Montgomeryville. We're a small place. We don't have a lot of businesses. What I would do instead of going to Giant, if I had to make a big order, is drive to Walmart, either up 309 or in Warrington. You can get bags at any of those places. They're not banning them. Not now anyway. I go down the shore for the summer in New Jersey that has this statewide ban supposedly. No casino follows that. You can get plastic bags. Every store in New Jersey, like the little grocery stores there, just give out paper bags. Now, when I was on the environmental committee, we were very worried about trees. That I guess is over too. And then my main thing, and which is like this is very serious. Like I said about my son before, him and his friends go out on these bikes, and a lot of them have e-bikes, and there's a whole different story. But they're up and down Butler Avenue. They go to CVS, they go to Giant, they go to Wawa, and they buy drinks and chips and gum, and they take it and put it in a bag and then put it on their handlebar and ride home. What do you want them to do? 14-year-old boys are not carrying recyclable bags with them. So they're going to have all these things in their hands and go up Butler Avenue. I mean, it's actually dangerous. None of this is logical. And I get the recycling part of it, and it's great. And I think everyone should recycle. But like, you don't want to do it at the expense of like something being actually dangerous for kids. That's my point of it. So I just think a bag ban is stupid. It won't make me bring a bag into a store. It will just make me personally shop more online, go up on 309 because they don't have anything banned. And it's just not something that is logical at all. So
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Steve Groman, Hampshire Drive. A couple things. First, you said don't bring politics into the meeting to Mrs. Walker, but your board member voiced her opinion concerned about the administration, the war, and gas prices. That's politics. Reduction. Now you're talking, the board, your EOC mentioned reduction. You said ban. Which is it?
I think it's single-use plastic reduction ordinance. We don't have an ordinance. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, but they said reduction in the single use, just like you did, but you said ban earlier. So is it a ban or is it a reduction?
It's under discussion. It's under informational discussion.
But then why present it as a reduction when you're saying ban and they're saying reduction? Semantics, it makes difference. Makes a big difference. Okay. You also say single-use plastic bags. I've heard numerous people say they reuse them. I reuse them. I use them for numerous things, from dog waste collection to if I'm out and about and I have a bag with me, which I always have like 5 or 6 in my car because my one daughter gets car sick. If I see trash on the road when I'm out and about, I'll pick it up, use that bag so I can get rid of that bag and the trash, because that's the military in me. If you see trash, you pick it up. Um, I've spoken to numerous people in the township because of my previous venture. I've gotten to know numerous people in the township, and I've asked them about this. And roughly 175, 200 people said they're against it. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, I thought it was a ban. You're saying reduction, whatever it may be. They're still against it either way because of the revenue factor and other factors. And the reason why they also reuse them. I use them for trash cans. I use them for travel. I put my shoes in them when I put them in my suitcase because I don't want my clothes to get dirty. You mentioned paper straws earlier also. Paper straw, have you ever used a paper straw? They're horrible, okay? Give a paper straw to a 7-year-old who does not consume a beverage quickly. Doesn't matter if it's water, soda, iced tea, or juice. That straw will degrade before they're a third of the way through their cup, okay? Even for an adult, it's the same way. They're horrible. And what do? You see them in the trash can, you see them all over the place, or you're trying to get more and more.
Pardon me a moment, okay? I'm sorry. Ryan, could you go out and see what's happening out there? There's a couple officers out there.
Just hanging out.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm sorry.
It's okay. And then with the plastic ban or reduction, are you talking just the bags, or are you talking like items that are found in the grocery store, like your blueberries, strawberries, different packaging like that? And then how do you prevent, are you going to prevent Amazon from packaging and shipping to us? Because they use plastic bags. There's a lot to it. I also did a search while I was here, while you sat here and said, you know, if somebody could look into the study of how much waste and whatnot, how much goes into a reusable bag. Life cycle assessments. Okay, show that alternative bags require vastly more resources to manufacture than standard thin bags, HDPE bags. While single-use plastic bags cause severe littering and microplastic pollution, their initial raw material extraction and manufacturing processes are highly resource efficient. Paper bags. Somebody said why we got rid of paper bags. I'll tell you why. Manufacturing paper bags is an energy and chemical intensive process that shifts the environmental burden from littering to air and water pollution. It takes roughly 4 times the amount of energy to manufacture a paper bag than a plastic bag. Water production, or water. Producing 1,000 paper bags consumes 1,400 gallons of water, compared to just 58 gallons for 1,500 plastic bags. Pollution. The pulping and manufacturing process generates up to 70 times more air pollution and 50 times more water pollution than plastic. Logistics, let's go there. Paper bags are 6 to 10 times heavier, far bulkier than plastic bags. Transporting them.
Do you care telling us where the source is that you're?
You said somebody could Google it, so I did.
You Googled it.
And then I turned around and I went into ask other question. So I'm reading you what is coming up from West Michigan, let's see, West Michigan Environmental Action Council. Okay, WMEAC.org.
As long as it's not AI.
No, I look at my resources.
We're not
Logistics.
having a discussion. I'm
Paper
just
bags are
asking
6
the
to 10
sources.
times heavier and far bulkier than plastic. Transporting them requires significant more fuel, creating a larger transport and carbon footprint. Break-even point, a paper bag must be reused 3 to 43 times to neutralize its environmental impact, which is difficult due to its low durability. And it goes into, I could sit here for an hour and read you the rest, but I'm not going to take them because I know there's a whole lot more other people that want to talk about this too. But they talk about the cotton tote bags, okay? Water and land, carbon emission, 272 kilograms of carbon dioxide is used, okay? Break-even point, 131 to 149 times just to match a plastic bag. The ordinance would be ridiculous.
I believe that's why we have said we want to look into things.
And that's why we're here to voice our concerns.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just,
State your name again.
Dennis Compete, Township resident. And, one thing, these bags that Mrs. Shortall showed, they help shoplifters. Twice I was in Giant.
Yeah.
And I saw
Yep.
people loading those bags and they took them off the shelf and loaded them. And I was saying to myself, they're not paying for that stuff. And that gets passed on to us.
That's right.
And just Saturday night, I went to the Giant in Montgomery Township and forgot to bring in a bag. And 15 cents for a cheap paper bag. I mean, it's not, I was a cashier when I was a kid.
15 cents?
They were good paper bags, you know, they were doubled. Matter of fact, when people used to ask us, please double my bags, we were supposed to tell them, no, they were already doubled. And there's a reason why grocery stores phased out plastic bags, I mean, paper bags. And it's the marketplace. If enough people tell Giant that they don't want to use plastic bags, Giant will stop using plastic bags. Stores could use boxes and the 50s or whatever. But let the marketplace determine that, not government. There's too many subdivisions in Pennsylvania, political subdivisions. New Jersey and Delaware outlawed bags. Delaware, you're allowed to buy a heavy duty plastic bag. I found that out when I was shopping in there one time. When New Jersey, even in a flea market, they're not allowed to give you a plastic bag. And I think it's just ridiculous. If the state wants to do it, let the state do it.
Thank you. Yes. No, you, yes.
Mara Whitson, Farca.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Mara Whitson. First of all, incredibly disrespectful to make an argument that anyone that opposes this ordinance doesn't care about children or rates of cancer or whatever the argument was.
Okay, miss.
I'm making the argument to you.
Make
I
it
am.
to us,
I
that's
am. I
correct.
want you to understand that that's disrespectful. But that's expected when you don't have any serious points to make. Make emotional appeals with which to bully ideological opponents. And by the way, you may not be concerned with CVS because, like you said, they can absorb the cost, but they won't. They will pass it on to the consumer, and we will absorb that cost. The small business and the single-use utensils idea that you mentioned can be done without an ordinance. If it saves businesses so much money, I'm sure they will implement it themselves. That would be very smart business practice. The ordinance actually serves no real purpose. In effect, it acts as a way to disturb the status quo, interrupt the taxpayer's lifestyle by inconveniencing them so that you can make a political statement. But it will make no positive impact on the environment whatsoever. As has already been discussed, there's actual negative impact on the production of other alternatives. You are also potentially driving businesses out of the township by changing the habits of consumers, acting as a nuisance to your taxpayers, which is who the cost will be passed on to, rather than serving them and acting in their interests, which is what you were elected to do. Respectfully, I ask that you remember what your job is. You're not hall monitors, you're township supervisors. And I'm sorry, but every other township having an ordinance is of no significance. As the saying goes, if every other township jumped off a bridge, would you? This was very predictable, but still disappointing and frankly kind of stupid. This is a free country. I don't know why we're even considering this. And just to make the point, AI has sources, so you can get them from the source, but AI does actually have something to back it up. So Google AI, no difference really. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Come forward, please. Thank you.
Hi, Lynn Johnson, 141 Brittany Drive. One thing I appreciate is Bill Jones' comment for elderly people and having handles to walk out with things. But the thing that's missing here is common courtesy. When we used to go to businesses, it was really nice that they give you something to take your goods in when you leave. It's just a custom, and I hate to see it go. I think everybody's so used to shopping online and not patroning their local businesses. It was just one little soft touch that when you leave a shop,
They give you a bag that you can put your wares in and leave. And that's my point. I want to see the common courtesy and the culture stay as opposed to leave. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir? Yeah, no, the guy, gentleman in the far back. He's been waiting a while with his hands up.
Dave Brzezinski, 902 Monarch Court, Chalfont. I hate plastic probably more than anyone in this room. The lengths I go to avoid ingesting it in my body, spend way too much money. Having said that, this ban is not the move. One, I don't want to, one person, a couple people brought up the hygiene. 12 people died of E. coli in San Francisco from an outbreak that started with reusable bags. So, and to the point about how much money this will cost for people that can't afford it, they're going to be reusing the same 1-2 bags over and over and over. A little bit of chicken spills into the bag. Boom, reuse it. Then what? You know, so what are we doing here? The local businesses, I feel like that was glazed over a little bit. They matter. I love ordering from, Los Sarabes. I get takeout. I love supporting local businesses. So you order something, now all of a sudden they have to completely rework the way that they send out orders. These businesses already have to pay an arm and a leg for like the DoorDash fees and all that stuff. Now this is just another added thing that they have to take on for, what? And then shoplifting, Hawaii, it led to a 21.1% increase in shoplifting. And I have the sources. It's not just AI. This is from Thompson and Moore, 2009, Philosophical Transactions, Biological Sciences. For every single article that word study you could cite that these bags are having a positive impact, you could have a study on the other end saying how much of a negative impact it is. Think about a Target in New Britain Township. All of a sudden now they're giving out these massive bags every single time. It adds up. So hard no on a ban, please, from someone that hates plastic.
Thank you.
Come on up, please. Thank you.
Ulf Bayer, Suffield Court. Yeah, so I think a lot of things have already been said tonight, so I don't want to, repeat them all, but with a lot of them, I agree. So I want to mention that I appreciate the sentiment, behind the idea, to explore it. But I think that for those wanting to avoid using the plastics bags, which I also personally don't like, there are already plenty of options. In Aldi, you get for free, those big card boxes. I keep them in my car whenever I go shopping. It's much more convenient than the plastic bags anyway, So I think for those who want to avoid it, there's already plenty of opportunities to do that. And sometimes if you don't happen to have the boxes in the car, it is kind of convenient the few times that happens, to have that option. I think the problem that I have is also this, good intentions leading to over-regulation and to micro-regulate, and move the citizens around, and try to, if you will, educate them or make decisions in a way, I don't like that. And I think it is good, to avoid too much regulation, which is better for the local businesses and also for keeping prices lower.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. So, I do think.
I think that from this discussion, there is need to be some more information brought. I see that they have been taking notes, points that have been brought up, they can come back and have a look at.
Yeah, so I think you have 3 people willing to look into it. And we can revisit it again.
And I would ask all of the board if they have certain questions they would like or any certain information. The EAC, please send them an email. and ask if you would like to find out more information about this one topic or anything that has been said. So.
Okay, moving on to information items, departmental reports. Finance.
All right, I'll be giving our report tonight for the financials for April 2026. I mentioned this at prior meetings, but as you know, today is May 1st. Takes about
May.
say June
We've
1st.
been working you too hard, Alex.
Takes us about 5 business days to close the month, make sure everything is booked correctly. So I'm going to be talking about April 2026's financials.
Okay.
So let's start with the financial statement highlights. The township is approximately 1/3 of the way through the fiscal year, and finances are again tracking right on target. Our general fund expenditures stand at 29% of the budget. That is comfortably below the expected 33% at this point in the year. That's a really positive sign heading into springs. On the revenue side, the bulk of our real estate tax collections have come in at 83%. I got a bunch more at the beginning of May, so it's going to be even closer to 100%. My next financial report. Also, that comes out to about $2.4 million that we've collected across all of our funds. So that's great. A small additional collection, as I said, is expected in early May, and that's going to be reflected in next month's report. Usually at this point, I talk about the projects going on in finance, but today I'm going to try something a little bit different. One thing I'd like to introduce to New Britain Township is a concept called budget amendments. It's something that I spoke to Julie about when we worked with her on our audit, and I'm going to review what that concept is. So as part of good financial stewardship, my office periodically will review the budget against actual conditions and recommend amendments where appropriate. To give everybody a little bit of context, a budget amendment is simply a formal board-approved update to the township's budget. As you know, budgets are prepared months in advance and they reflect our best reflections, but sometimes circumstances change, and a budget amendment just ensures that our financial records are accurately reflected and are reflecting reality. So this is, again, routine part of municipal finance. I've experienced it at other municipalities I've worked at as well. So one item that I want to talk about tonight that I'm going to be bringing forward as a budget amendment involves the Parks and Recreation Fund. So when the 2026 budget was prepared, the township had anticipated receiving a $250,000 grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development through the Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program. This grant was to offset the costs for our upcoming North Branch Playground and Pavilion project right behind this building. Ultimately, we found out in early 2026 that the grant was not awarded. However, given the community need, the board decided to move forward with the project, which is a decision that reflects the board's commitment to its residents. So as a result, I'm going to be bringing a budget amendment to formally reflect that the $250,000 will be funded from the Parks and Recreation Fund balance rather than grant revenue. This is going to adjust the anticipated 2026 year-end fund balance from $873,000 to $623,000, which is still a very healthy and stable position for that fund. There is also good news on the project itself. Final costs are expected to come in significantly below the original $468,000 estimate. I'm not going to give you an exact number yet because the project's not done, but ultimately this is going to further strengthen the ending balance. So I am not requiring any action tonight. There are additional amendments that I'm continuing to identify as we continue our mid-year review, and I'm intending to bring forward everything together in a single resolution just for efficiency. Makes more sense. This is just an opportunity to keep you guys informed and ensure that there are no surprises at the end of the year. So.
Thank you.
Oh, and last but not least, I'm sorry. Bank account balances. Last month, I think I reported that we had $15.6 million in the bank. We're now up to $17.2 million in the bank. 11.7 is in accounts and 5.5 million is in.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions? The board?
What are the terms at the moment of the CDs? Are they all staggered a little bit?
Yes, when I talked to Penn Community Bank, I think they're coming up in like the next month or so. So one thing we're going to explore is, I believe most of them are coming to term at the same time. Now, as you know, cash flow is most challenging for governments earlier in the year because it's waiting on that real estate tax revenue, right? So it's kind of a balance of trying to get our CDs up to not all end at the same time, but at the same time, take advantage of the best rates available to us. So once they come up to term, I'll talk to the bank representative and try to figure out what's going to be the best strategy moving forward.
Okay.
Okay.
And would you be looking at moving them if there were better rates?
I think that the two I would want to focus on would be Penn Community Bank, because that's who all of our operations banking is with for the most part, and also Univest, because we've also opened up accounts with them as well. But I'm just trying to stick to those two banks. Obviously, if another one has better rates, we'll still investigate it, but don't want to have 1,000 bank accounts.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Public Works.
Can I
I'm
just
sorry.
make one comment
I'm
on the
sorry.
finance? I just wanted to commend Alex. We had our first finance committee meeting since Alex took this position. Mary Beth and I sit on the finance committee, and it was organized, informative, efficient, and a welcome change from what we are used to. So thank you very much.
It was, I think we've both said it was the best, most informative finance report we've ever had. And this is my 7th year on the board. So thank you.
It's all thanks to the amazing team that we have here. It was a team effort.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have the Public Works report in the packet. We don't have anyone here to report on it. Same with Park and Recreation. There was a report from Bill May about the timeline for the completion of the North Branch Park project, which is currently a sort of a muddy lot out there. And we are very hopeful that it will be completed in time for Fall Fest. It's going to be a beautiful new playground for smaller children and a brand new pavilion with a cement floor. And will be a great improvement in the park. Police, Ryan. Sterlitzky.
Sergeant Lischke filling in for the chief, who is away at the PA Chiefs Conference. I just wanted to asked me to hit on a couple of our high points. So some events that we've conducted is May 27th, the Chalfont Village, or more normally referred to as the Skyline Shopping Center. We conducted our Coffee with a Cop. It was very successful. We're in the midst of planning a Fishing with a Cop to tentatively be held on Father's Day, June 21st. So we'll be fishing at the Fisherman's Pier, I believe is over in Lake Helena.
Okay.
So kids come out and fish with us. June 23rd, we're going to have a visit from Alex Mann. Anybody that doesn't know anything about Alex Mann, he's an autistic gentleman who's visited over 500 different police departments throughout the country and just speaks with officers on how to deal with individuals with autism.
Just going to ask, is that a closed event?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll find out. We're in the middle of our Christmas in July to benefit area youth with back to school supplies. We're accepting donations through July 10th. And those supplies will be distributed to select families on July 24th.
And those families are all within New Britain Township.
I believe so, yes. And we're also planning a Battle of the Badges blood drive, which will be held at the Chalfont Firehouse on July 30th from 1 to 6 p.m. And I'm sure any more information about these events, either Facebook page or Crime Watch, or I'm sure the township website will have it as well.
And I would encourage everyone to please donate to the Christmas in July drive. It helps people who are struggling. It helps the children to get school supplies so that they don't feel second best in school. And all donations, whether they're in kind or you order through Amazon or Target or cash donations, benefit families in this township. They're not going anywhere. And that's a very great thing that you guys do.
Yes.
No. I just wanted to add on to that. I was speaking with Chief and Sandy recently at Randy's retirement about your Christmas in July. And the one thing he did say is they wanted to make sure that the families in the area. So if you know of a family in need, please ask them to contact our wonderful police or to apply for that, or their school guidance counselor to get in touch with the police to identify them as a child in need, because that can be challenging. So, and just thank you for doing that. And I actually have backpacks for you in my car.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
The bear.
The bear.
The bear.
One was bought in Montgomery Township, I think.
It's probably the same bear that.
It is the
if
same
anybody
bear?
saw the post, that was probably the same bear.
Was he questioned about his work?
I hope he,
Response.
I don't know, I spent,
Baskets.
it was Thursday, I spent a couple hours looking for the bear and he was very elusive. So, oh, not our first bear in the township. A couple years ago, I spent several hours following one through Brittany Farms.
My goodness.
So it does happen from time to time.
Mhm.
They normally just get turned around, get spooked. They're more afraid of us than we are of them. So,
But you've only heard of one sort of roaming around at the moment.
correct.
Okay. Right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And the police report is in the packet regarding calls and our crime rate. Engineers report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, I have a lot to update you on, so I'm gonna go really fast.
Okay.
You have a planning commission meeting coming up on June 9th and also June 23rd. Those agendas are not set yet as far as what's going to be on, but we have multiple land development projects, most small, that are at different stages of sketch plan, concept plan, or preliminary plan. So we'll be working through those. And then we also have a larger development, the Walnut Street warehouse development, which I think a lot of people are aware of. They will also be on the June one, I think the second June Planning Commission, and then they'll need to appear in front of the board in July. All the other applicants have granted a waiver of extension or granted an extension of the time clock per the state code. So we're under no time constraints on the other 4 smaller land development projects, but the Walnut Street applicant has not granted extension. So we're under a tight time clock for action by the Planning Commission and board. So more to come in I guess later in June after the Planning Commission meeting. Couple other updates then on capital improvement projects. We have started, and actually we're pretty far along now with the Walden Way Basin retrofit for your stormwater MS4 project. I'm thinking I can present a concept or more in detailed engineering concept of what we're doing with the stream relocation and also the improvements to Walden Way. Once you're okay with that scope, then I think I promised to work with EAC a little bit to get them involved. And then we'll have to decide on permitting. Relocating a stream is not easy, especially in the backyards of all the neighbors. They've all been very cooperative on our survey, so everything's surveyed and done, and we're starting to work in towards the engineering part of that. So more to come on that. Brittany Farms, the stream restoration project that was started a few years ago. There's been some hiccups along the way. I'll take a little bit of blame on that. I think everybody was wish that project went a little smoother. But we called the contractor in default of his maintenance bond. And we since resolved that. He did plant another 400 live stakes. It was inspected by the township and my office. We even had an arborist out there. He met all the requirements for the maintenance period, so that had expired. We released him of that. Any maintenance?
When were the live stakes planted? If you know.
We have invoices. I don't know if we contacted him on May 8th. He had already planted them by then. So end of April, beginning of May, but I don't have the exact date.
Okay.
I
can follow.
The solicitor did get involved as well. He provided legal counsel. He also responded to a couple of the issues. So that did get resolved, replanted. It's now on to the township to maintain them from here on out. All right, and then last thing, well, sorry, two more things. The proposed improvements to the Pine Run Trail across the street here. You authorized survey of that. We did that survey a few years ago, aerial photography. Now we've honed down on the scope of Public Works, what improvements we'd like to see there at staff level. And we'll be doing a wetlands survey. Unfortunately, the wetlands and where some of the improvements are may impact that. So we'll have to decide with the board and the staff how we want to go with the improvements to the trail and also a bridge there. We might have to just span the wetlands, try to avoid any large permitting with the state to keep that project moving. So we are out there doing the wetland survey. We'll map that, come up with a concept with Public Works and staff, and then present that to you sometime probably towards the end of summer. And then the last thing is the road program that will be on your, I guess, June 15th meeting. Right now I'm anticipating, Ryan and I spoke again late this afternoon. We did a little more calculations. We had a staff meeting today and we had a lot of discussion last week. I think you got 9 bids in. Unfortunately, 8 of the 9 were incomplete. Only one, who happened to be the second lowest bidder, did submit a complete bid. I have a draft recommendation approval letter, and we did some analysis. You're within 5% of what Ryan estimated. So jumping on what Alex just brought up, and I believe Terry and Ryan had already spoken to Alex. I think 5% is very reasonable. In fact, probably 10%. Alex is nodding. Good job. I paid him to do that. So I'm leaning towards, and Ryan, and I think Terry's, if you're okay with that, I think we'll have a recommendation for you to award to the lowest bidder that submitted a complete application in June. I won't give out any numbers, but we're within about 5% over estimate what Ryan did. And I think that's still very reasonable instead of gambling and rebidding everything. I don't know about oil prices, even your solicitor weighed in a little bit today. So it's a little bit of a gamble. We could do it again, but I think if it's in the budget and Alice can test his new updates on the budget, we'll have that for the June 15th meeting for you.
Okay.
Okay? That's all I have.
And then once you're done your engineering of both Walden Way and the Pine Run Trail, we can start looking for grants.
Yes. And maybe discuss data centers too.
Yes, we need to.
First Planning Commission, we'll get to the board then. So there's a lot of discussion on that as well.
We have to get on the train with every other township that's doing it and whatever the
Well,
state.
I will just give you a quick update. I was going to send you an email. I have an email from our planner late today. I don't know if Terry saw this yet or anybody else, but Governor Shapiro is pushing for some legislation or some enactment. So we should see a little more as far as model ordinances. I know Bucks County is a little behind right now, so hopefully that's what Scott, Justin, Terry, and myself and Alex were all talking about as far as it'd be nice to have a model ordinance from Bucks County or from this, we have Montgomery and Berks County ordinances, but your planner is on top of all that and will guide you through the Planning Commission and then obviously the board through that to get something on the books.
Okay. Board comments. Bridget, I will start with you.
Oh, how exciting. Okay. All right. So while I have this large, wonderful captive audience, definitely going to encourage you to all please donate to our very exciting Christmas in July drive for the police and to participate in their upcoming events. I think it's a great opportunity, especially if you do have children or you have neighbors who have children, to get them familiar with a police officer so they are not afraid of them. And school will be out soon. Everyone, please drive carefully. Kids will be out on bikes and playing in yards. And if you live on a street that's anything like mine, people drive 1,000,000 miles per hour, so please slow down. We have the 4th of July parade coming up, and I know that Sue Gelb would love to hear from you. She's our event planner, and have you come join in our wonderful parade if you have a group or an organization that's not already participating, or if you'd like to enter a float or something like that, please come out. And also please come out the day of, that's July 4th, and support us. And as I did mention, people are struggling. please donate to the New Britain Food Pantry. There are gardens. There's a Garden of Hope up where you can volunteer your time. You can volunteer your time at the New Britain Food Pantry. They particularly need gluten-free items, sugar-free items, and low-sodium items. They do help a lot of seniors and low-income people and people on special diets. That is something that I always participate in. So I would encourage you to do the same. You can also, if it's easier, just go onto their website and do a cash donation. That's all I have.
Cynthia?
Okay, so looking back on our past month, I wanted to say thank you to the township for organizing the e-recycling that we had in.
Oh, yes, I just
middle
did
of the
that
month.
too. That was wonderful.
And I was very surprised to see that Pico covered the payment of accepting my two dehumidifiers, I think. I had a dehumidifier, Pico, because you were a customer, said they'll pay for the $10 to pay to recycle it, which was wonderful. So I hope that we have that partnership again next year. Do we only do it once a year or twice a year?
Once a year.
Once a year. Okay. All right. And then just after that, Stephanie and I did attend the ribbon cutting and dedication of the new Calvary Church in the old A. Weber building, which was wonderful to see the new revitalization of that building. It was great to see the whole congregation coming together. It was just a wonderful event and it was great to see everybody there. And then there was one other thing. And then last Friday, we have alluded to it, that Randy Teschner is retiring. He's leaving on Friday. We were able to give him a nice send-off on last Friday, but if you do know Randy and you have the time, I'm sure he would like to see a friendly face this week to say, thank you for your 40 years. Well, it will be 40 and a half years of service to this township, which is so very great that we have been able to have him for that long and all his knowledge. So that's mine.
Bill?
I'll go back to Randy since I'm the senior member here. Yeah, Randy's growing up with the organization, that's for sure. As was stated before, he started out with Public Works, and then he grew out of there and started into building code. And he's become an integral part of the township. And I believe he's touched almost everybody that's here in one way or another, especially if had some sort of property inspection. So he'll be missed, but we have people lined up that hopefully are going to be able to just fill in the void, but it won't be the same. So that's all.
I have a question for Alex before I make my comment. Did we? Sorry.
On the spot, on the spot, on the spot.
At our last meeting.
Oh, no, I meant
Oh.
to.
So.
I'm so glad you remember that.
To Alex and our staff, the township was awarded by PSAT's Most Improved Newsletter. And that's thanks to Alex's hard work in making sure we had information, relevant information and content in the newsletter. Thank you to all of our committees and individuals who contribute to our newsletter to do that. But without Alex's hard work on that, sorry, we have two Alexes and they're sitting right next to each other, but they both deserve praise today. So thank you. Public that's here, that's a statewide award. So that was, there were townships from across the state that applied for that and we were chosen.
I have a few things to say. I don't think it's been mentioned. I saw a article in the newspaper or on Facebook, I think it was the police page, that our officer Kate Peffel has been promoted to detective. And I saw her and congratulated her, and I'd just like to make that announcement public. We have also had another important promotion.
Yes.
Alex Mullen was recently promoted to assistant manager, and we are very happy to have her. And she has been doing a wonderful job for the township for the last 2.5 years that she's been with us. Congratulations, Alex. It was well deserved. Also will be getting in touch with Mr. Teschner, whose middle name is Trouble, and finding out why he didn't show up tonight. Anyway,
I can't tell you why. It's not in the company.
Retire.
yes,
He's like, I don't need to go.
not too many people you have to force to have a retirement party either, so he is unique. And
He will be missed.
he will be missed. Finally, I want to mention a volunteer who is our representative to the Shelburne EMS. He was appointed in January, and he didn't realize he was stepping into a nearly full-time job. But he has done amazing things in trying to fix issues and problems and keeping us involved so that we know what's going on next door. Mr. Mike Heffron, thank you very, very much for all of your work. With plenty more to come, correct? Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
If I may, just for those of you who might be wondering, we're not going anywhere. Okay. There might be administrative issues, but the operation as far as who's gonna show up at your house and when, it's perfect. We got the best response in the county, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's important because there's been a lot of smoke all over the place, and it's unfortunate because it puts people on edge if they think their ambulance service is going away, which it's not. Our job, the five of us, is to provide for the health, welfare, and well-being of the residents of this township. And that is our job, to provide those services. It's your job to help support those services. But we're very proud of our police force, doing a lot of community policing and events, and all of our employees who make this place run on a daily basis. So that's all I have tonight. I will now get to our announcements. Our EAC. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there any further public?
I'm sorry. Is there other public comment on anything that was not on the agenda tonight? No. Okay.
Jerry, they left. They left.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no, they left.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course.
Name and address, please.
Update on Keller Road Bridge.
Besides the fact that it's closed.
Yeah, we had the bridge repairs scheduled for, was it last Thursday? Was it last week?
Remember the rain hit last?
Yeah, so it was last Thursday. We had ADM scheduled to fix the decking, of course. Yes.
Not the
there's
whole deck.
sections- No,
sections.
yeah, there's various sections that needed replaced. And fortunately, ADM did have that particular type of decking, which would match what we have there. And there was a few other things that they needed to do. Of course, it rained. And when you're welding, that doesn't really work very well. So we have, Ryan, our Public Works Director, has been reaching out to them. And at this point, we have them rescheduled for the week of, I believe, June 15th to come back out and fix the bridge. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Unfortunately, we wanted them to come out sooner, but they had a whole bunch of other projects already scheduled. Well,
Very quiet. Super quiet.
Well, I can appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. All right. So that's where we're at right now. Okay.
PennDOT will need to inspect those repairs and it'll be their call if if it can be reopened. So, it'll be their decision, not mine.
Yes.
PennDOT had come out and done yet another inspection. And in the space of 6 months, it went from fine to not fine. So
Not at all fine.
Well, I mean, the information that we received that left with Wendy, who was talking with the engineers there, said that there were problems with the I-beams, rust and failures in the I-beams there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that just because the deck grading gets replaced, that the bridge will be open.
Correct.
What you're
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
we don't know. Okay, anything else?
There's one, Phil Shire, Hampshire Drive. We have a inlet outlet, or inlet on our street, been damaged for 9 months. A woman's car did the damage. We should have got paid from her insurance company. You know, you guys put some plates up. I'll show you real quick. You guys put some plates up.
That,
Yeah, I'm not involved in some.
he's not involved. That would be Public
Public
Works.
Works.
You can show Mr.
It's
Fedorchak.
been like this for 9 months. After a woman did that with her car, we should have gotten paid from her insurance company. I'm not sure what this is, but it was the inlet.
I understand that. Could you please send that to me?
Okay.
We have a, placed on the website up at the top banner,
Okay.
request for service to let us know where these problems occur.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, well. Okay. All right, no further public comment. I'll move on to announcements. The EAC is meeting Wednesday, June 3rd at 7 PM. The Planning Commission will be meeting, June 9th and 23rd, which will also be announced at our next meeting. And the, Representatives Labs and Monroe will be holding their office hours here from Wednesday, on Wednesday, June 10th, from 10 to noon. So if you need services from your state representative, they will be here. You can just come to the township building. Other than that, the next meeting of the Board of Supervisors will take place on Monday, June 15th at 7 PM. And the agenda meeting materials will be posted both outside and to the township website prior to that meeting date. Do I have a motion to adjourn at 8:57 PM?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.